after. Like after,
Wow.
I was like, why are all these people just sitting at a closed Chipotle?
Yeah, I remember saying that. I was like, they're not homeless. Clearly, they're dressed way too fly.
I said, wow.
Even like I told you,
a homeless hype beast.
I woke up at 5:30 and I went on a morning run, and there was a line of cars. It was not like a huge line.
They said people spend the night,
but it was about 20 cars. That was like, and I was like, what are these cars here? And I was like, oh. Astroworld Fest is that big?
They said people spent the night.
That's
the
crazy.
night before, and you saw kids bum rush the stage. I mean, they bum rushed the gate.
They did?
To get people out. I will say this though, shouts out to, and I never shouts out to them, usually because I hate them as a group, but the people that control the traffic, I don't know if it's HPD, I don't know if it's Reliant or whatever, for the first time ever, they control the traffic away from it, because we live there, and it's like, after a football game, I've had to circle around, like I could see my house.
Yeah.
And they've been like, you need to make a right. I was like, my place is right there. They're like, but you need to turn. And literally direct me away from my place every single time. I just circled in traffic for like 45 minutes one time. Like, I'm like, what you want?
Yeah, that was last Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm sad for you.
Yeah.
And don't let you like need something and you're cooking something. You go, I got to go run up to the store right quick.
It's done.
I can't do it, even though it's in walking distance. But
it's done.
Fair enough. That's what it is. That's how we do it.
Are you saying I should have walked?
No, I'm not
trying to say I should have walked.
No,
you should have walked to Fiesta.
Nah, they blocked that off. They don't want to see no.
That's right. They do block
Suge
off.
Knight looking ass nigga walking by the Astrodome. Like, it's scary enough for them because they're looking at you like, what is he gonna do? And he got on a hoodie. Suge Knight's out of prison. No, he's not. He's not.
Is Suge Knight okay? Didn't he have diabetes or something like that?
I don't know. Suge Knight and Bill Cosby share a cell together.
Really?
No, I'm lying.
But I mean, honestly, that would be hilarious.
That would be interesting.
That's an odd couple.
It would be an odd couple.
Thing. That'd be a super odd
It'd
couple.
Be super odd. But, I mean, it would be a good thing because both the dudes in the cell would be black. Black and ugly as ever stay. Houston down to my socks. It's your boy. Yeah, what's my name again? Carlton with a K. Carlton with a KBN, Triple X. Carlton with a KBN, Triple X. Also, Avery, like a very nice guy. Yeah, I looked at the screen. Who cares? We're also here with my co-host.
That's me. Trying not to look at my phone. Go ahead.
Yeah, Just Devon. Go ahead. Say your name.
Just Devon.
There we go.
Say it again. It was a little late on that.
Say it again.
Just Devon.
Okay, there we go. Awesome.
I'm glad you're happy about that.
We be trying. Like, it's a good thing. Like, it's the team back here. Thank you very much. Also, what we're doing today is we have a special guest. We're all about relaxation here. And you don't really have to think, really. You just have to take a load off, take your shoes off.
Hey.
All right, you got to listen to the sound of her voice and my voice, too.
Hey.
You're doing too much. Isaiah Carey is a fan. She's a fellow blue cheese lover. And relax is definitely your ranch. Definitely your ranch. Sugar Love, because nobody puts sugar in the quarter. And take some time and relax and listen to the sultry sounds of Lenora.
Hey.
Simply Lenora. Also, I liked your old Instagram too.
Who the
fuck is Lenora? I was like,
yo,
my
funny. Mom bullied me into changing my Instagram. First of all, I have to acknowledge that was the best introduction that I've ever had. So
that's what we do.
Thank you.
That's what
y'all
we do.
really rolled out the red carpet, which makes sense since we're in this fancy establishment.
It is fancy.
So I went from who the fuck is Lenora to sincerely Lenora because my mom was just like, I don't like that name.
Now, she knew the whole time it was did she know it was, because it was just who TF.
She was like, that
she
was
like,
my
what's
argument.
the TF stand
I was
for?
like, TF can mean anything.
It could.
But she was like, everybody knows what that means.
I'm about to say, what are the other things that
Who
I
the
don't
freak?
know. I don't know.
Who the
freak?
fudge? Who the funk? I'm a funky person.
Who the funk?
Who the funk is Lenora?
But it's still a derivative.
But it literally, like, I accidentally branded myself as who the fuck is Lenora. Like, I remember I was at Afropunk in Brooklyn, like, 4 years ago, and people were like, who the fuck is Lenora? I was like, oh my God. Why it can't just be Lenora? It's just a screen name.
Yeah.
And also, I just ruined the other thing. My mom said before, please, can you do one interview where you don't curse that I can let my friends hear?
Technically.
Yeah, you do like to curse.
And
I've
who
read
I
your stuff.
am.
Yeah,
Technically,
you're like,
that
I
was
was
a
finally
quote.
cursed.
Technically, that was a quote.
Yeah.
We were quoting the
We
name.
were quoting.
That's all it is.
Your mom
Okay.
is very nice. She likes for you to do good things. She does not support Slim Thug and his weed smoking.
I saw
But-
that. I saw that.
Played the song, so
She did,
Yeah.
and he did. So
he
she
knows.
was happy about that.
He knows who the fuck Lenora is.
You know, and that's what's important. That's
what
what's
it is.
important.
So this is your mom that's calling up like, please don't curse. Please don't smoke.
She doesn't
please don't."
curse. She doesn't smoke.
Ah.
But she knows, like, her kid's a hippie. Like, this,
That's
it
what's
is
up.
what it is. So
Now we're going to
Sorry,
talk to
girl.
you about, well, you know, your mom's going to come in the story because we're going to talk about your upbringing, where you're from, how
Yeah.
you
Okay.
got in. Your mom's the one that had you going over yonder. The
Hey,
whole nine.
Going
she
up
did.
yonder, yeah.
Okay, okay.
she did.
So, Simply Lenora. What do you just want to go by Lenora? Simply Lenora?
Y'all keep saying
Sincerely
simply,
Lenora?
and it's sincerely.
You know what? It is
Sincerely.
sincerely.
You know what I
It's
think
the
it is.
Simply
My bad, I
juice.
fucked
Niggas
up.
love Simply
It's
Orange and like
no.
Simply Juices, so they always
You know what's
wanna
funny?
make me
When I
Simply.
kept saying
I
simply,
bought
I
like a
kept picturing
gallon
it.
of Simply Orange juice this
Really?
weekend and killed
Yeah.
it.
It blessed
Ah
you,
man,
didn't
I shouldn't
it?
have said that.
Yeah.
It blessed
I'm
you.
supposed to not be drinking that. Whoops.
Simply orange juice.
No, it's too much sugar.
Ooh.
It's all sugar.
Yeah.
But Simply Juice is great.
It
Simply
is.
lemonade.
I think they're gonna have
Simply
that in
Pink
heaven
lemonade,
when I
Simply
go up yonder. Anyway,
I'm saying, it's not good for you at all, though. But
No.
it's delicious.
It is.
It's delicious.
It
So
is.
like a
sincerely,
Popeye chicken sandwich.
Sincerely, Lenora.
Yes.
Is that what you want to go by? Or just Lenora?
It's just
or
Lenora.
Just Lenora.
That's just my screen name because, you know, some random chick has Lenora. I messaged her, like,
Well,
you
not
going to
a
have
random
to get
chick.
her
It's
name
It's a
up.
Lenora. Lenora got Lenora.
She's random. Like, I don't know. I'm
you're
sorry.
the original.
Lenora,
I'm
give
the
it up.
original. I don't like. It's the worst when somebody take your username and they don't even be doing nothing with it.
They-
Like,
they got-
I feel like she be like,
They
last I
got
checked,
two
she was-
followers.
Yeah.
They be
Right.
like, yeah.
150.
taking pictures of
52.
her espresso,
Yeah.
just like super basic bitch shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man,
McDonald's
give me my name
fries.
back.
I like them. I'm like,
Why didn't you go
Okay,
like
everybody likes
the
that.
real Lenora and just start going at her like
I hate that.
You know,
I
you
hate
don't like
it
the
so
real
hate the
Lenora?
reels?
The
Official.
real, the
Yeah.
official. What was Diddy? Did Diddy start that?
I
felt
just
like
all
Diddy
I know
was
is
like the real
Boosie has
people.
that, and I'm not speaking ill of Boosie.
No.
Scared.
No, for me, I hate it. I feel like, you know what it is? I'm just like, have I done enough to be
say
the
the real?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
I am sincere,
Yeah.
though.
You have done enough.
That's real.
there you go.
That's real.
You got to speak that. Positive. Think positive.
Absolutely. All the time.
Yeah.
So, you're from Houston?
Born
What
and
part?
raised.
What part
I'm
of
from
Houston
Hiram
is that?
Clark.
Hiram Clark. All
Alameda
right.
Plaza, to be specific.
Okay. Now, first of all, what got you? I mean, we know some of the story, but we want to make sure the fans know. What gets you into singing, just in general?
Well, I started singing in church. I'm going up yonder. So,
That's a good place to start.
yeah.
a good
So I
place to
first
start.
started singing in church like most kids, and then my kindergarten graduation, I went to a Christian private school, and I led Going Up Yonder, and so that was like my first taste of fame. And I was like, I gotta do this. Like, I gotta continue to please the
Yeah.
masses. And so, all jokes aside, after that, I did like choir in school and stuff like that. And then in
Now,
high
what's
school,
I'm sorry to cut you off. What's the advice your mother gave you for going over yonder? 'Cause you were
oh
telling me
yeah,
that
okay.
before.
So on Going Up Yonder, I was singing it when I was a kid, and I was just singing it normal, you know. If anybody, but she was like, "No, you gotta growl when you get to the meat of that song." And I was like, "Growl?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm going up. You know, it's not just going up. You gotta go up." So I went up. And I brought the whole church down. She was like, when you do that, everybody gonna stand up, everybody gonna applaud. Like, this is gonna be your big break. It wasn't my big break, but it was the beginning of a long and fruitful career.
Did the pastor preach after? That's
Well,
always a good sign.
Yeah,
If
if he
the
don't
pastor
preach-
says,
It
you know
wasn't
what,
even
we've had
that.
enough.
It was a graduation ceremony.
Oh,
And the
okay.
and the pastor, like, of that school, like, I guess of that establishment, he was white. And you know, like,
Oh,
white
never mind.
people,
Never
they be
mind.
a little different. They don't be
Well, they looking like, wow, she really likes that song.
right.
Soulful.
Well, this is
You
riveting.
said
you know?
soulful.
It was riveting.
Soulful.
That's
I
you know.
like that.
That's all they say.
Put a little
Yeah.
spice on it.
Yeah.
Yep, and then so I was in choir. Then I went to the high school for performing and visual arts, and so I got into opera there. So I was like an opera singer from
Oh
like
snap! That was you.
from like 13 to like I studied vocal performance and opera in college as well at Loyola, New Orleans. And then, like, what's funny is at that time I really wasn't singing like anything other than that. I wasn't singing like any alternative or soul or R&B. And so I got into jazz because I was in New Orleans, and then I got into songwriting, and then here I am.
Was your plan? Well, I mean, when we're talking about as you're going along your pathway, were you thinking like, okay, eventually I want to get into R&B, I want to get into jazz, or was I want to do opera?
I wanted to do opera. Like when I was going into college, like my thing, like my dream was to like do opera. Like I looked up to like Audra McDonald and Leontine Price and Jesse Norman. Like those were my idols at that time.
No,
I don't know who
idea.
they are.
People are.
I bet they
Fair
are.
enough.
Familiar.
Fire opera singers.
No, they're
Like,
fire.
I bet they
I
are
like
amazing.
Fire.
And I don't know who they
But
are. I'm gonna put them on my playlist.
I'm so ashamed to say why I didn't want to do
But you
opera
gotta tell us.
anymore.
Yeah.
It was two things. For one, it was the fact that the composition, like it was, beautiful compositions, but I was like, dang, I would love to compose some things myself. I think that's a pretty like plausible answer, a safe answer, and a true answer. The other reason was because like you have to do this thing called master class when you're in studying opera in college, where you have other like students in that master class that go up and sing, and they're part of your studio. Them people were so annoying, y'all. Like opera singers be so annoying. Like, and I feel like it's not everybody, but I just felt like, man, they're so uptight. Like, you get to talking to them, they be like, oh my gosh, like the vocal fry, like you're not hurting speaking that way. Like it's very intense. And so
wow.
I knew, I was like, okay, well, people are annoying everywhere, right? But if I stay doing this, I'm gonna finish my undergrad. I'm gonna have to go to grad school and be in more debt. And then when you're an opera singer, you really don't reach the peak of your career until you're about 30. So that means you're going to be broke. Like, I was like, oh, no, I got to figure something else out. But I always was singing. So I was making mixtapes at that time. I started making mixtapes first.
Was this opera mixtape?
No.
Okay.
I started like, it was just as bad because like I had some like real sketchy management in college. And so they were like, no, let me tell you. You need to flip Drake songs. That's it. So it just sounded like an opera singer, like singing Drake songs. So It was just weird. Yeah, it was strange.
Are
like
these
y'all, it
still
took me
out
a
there?
while to get here.
Are these still out there? Are these floating out
I
there
took
somewhere?
them down. I went by a different name at that time.
What was his name called? Just asking for
I'm
a
not
friend.
telling y'all.
All right.
But the ones who know, like they know. Like some people still call me that.
Oh,
like,
okay,
to this day.
Damn it, man. I'm
So,
surprised.
to this day. But I took it all down, y'all. I really did.
I did
like
my research.
I had a
I
little.
thought I could find
I had
it.
a little pop in YouTube and everything. I did like covers, but it just sounded like an opera singer singing that. So it took me a while to find like what
You might
my
want to put
voice
them up
sounded
because
like.
Drake is always looking for a new sound.
Yeah.
And if Drake gets into opera,
Listen,
that's you.
that's
The
all
opera
me.
version of Best I Ever
I'm
Had.
telling you, that's you.
Wow. Really?
Listen, I
'Cause I
did
know Drake's sitting
headlines.
on
I
Drake.
flipped all those songs.
Really?
That's what I'm saying.
Successful. I just want to be successful.
It didn't sound that bad. Like it didn't sound that operatic.
I mean, we can't sing, but and
But
Drake,
it didn't sound
Drake
that
just got
operatic.
booed, so I know he's looking for another sound. Like he talked to his people, like
Damn.
he's like, "Yo, first of all, that's not Drake's fault. I don't understand why. Like, I didn't understand the booing. I didn't get it.
People are assholes.
They are. That's a
That's it.
straight
That's a
jerk.
fact.
Like my
So we
man
talked
came out
about
here
it.
and was doing that. And look, I'm highly critical of Drake, but my man came out there and was doing him, and I was like, y'all, Tyler's having fun. Like he's at the front dancing, and
They
y'all
put
like,
something in
having
their
a time
mind
with
that I think that it's gonna be Frank, and it wasn't. And then they got
Yeah.
mad of what you thought when nobody told you that. People are assholes. Fuck them.
well, Drake, if you're trying to get into that opera sound, we got somebody here for
There
you.
we
So,
go. I
got you.
So you were doing headlines, you doing all
Uh-huh.
covers of Drake because your management is like,
They were
that's
like,
what we
"This
need
is
to
it.
do.
This is what you got to do to be
There we
hot.
go.
This it." So that didn't really work out because it wasn't me. And I noticed like I would always do like bonus tracks on my mixtapes, right? And I was like, it was when I was first getting into songwriting. So the songs were like, to me, but I was writing like jazz sounding songs then.
Okay.
Like I was listening when I started getting into like other music. I was listening to like Esperanza Spalding and stuff. So my songwriting was just like it was really jazzy and kind of abstract. But people were like vibing with those more
Okay.
than like the other stuff. So I just took a step back and I was like, maybe, you know, the next mixtape I can get a little more whatever. But then eventually I stopped making mixtapes. I graduated from college. I went in the real world. I started working in corporate America because I was like, I don't want to be poor. Y'all, obviously, like, one of my main fears when I was younger was being poor.
I can see that.
You know, because I was just
Everybody's
like,
yeah.
I'm going to be real with you. You know, it takes great risks to get a great reward. And that's just true. And so I think in some aspects, I think I should have been a little bit more risque, but I knew, like, early on, I was like, I got a lot of friends who have popped and they went to, you know, for instance, they may have gone to LA or they may have gone to New York. And they was crashing on couches for a couple months.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That ain't me, though.
Yeah.
Lenora ain't doing it. Like,
You said, I
I
can't
was
live
like,
on the
nah,
couch.
I got to figure this out. I got to
Yeah.
figure it out. So I did, like, I worked at Enterprise. I was washing cars in business suits. I worked at Whole Foods. Like, I was really, like, just trying to figure it out. And then I want to say in 2017, I got back into the industry. But, like, it was me doing the Motown and More review show at Miller Outdoor Theater. I decided to audition. I hadn't been singing or putting anything out for, like, 6 years.
Yeah, what made
Yeah,
you?
you
I
were
mean,
going
what
on
what
hiatus.
prompted you
I
to
was
just
on a
say,
big hiatus.
"Hey, after being on a hiatus, working in Enterprise, Whole Foods, all that stuff, what prompted you to say, yo, let me try it out?"
Because I was still recording at that time. I had still built like a studio. Like, I built a small studio at home when I was working because I always was making music. And I was just like, what is stopping me from releasing this music now? You know, because my friends would come over, we would jam out, and they would hear stuff, and they were just like, dude, why aren't you putting this out?
Yeah,
And I realized it was this fear of failure. And it was a fear, to get real for a minute, it was a fear of, what if I'm not received? What if I'm not special enough? What if I'm not this enough? And when I tell y'all, the only difference in then and now was me just being like, excuse my French, fuck it.
Exactly.
I just was like, okay,
Sorry,
I'm going to
Mom.
just be me. I know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Mom.
Mom.
But
We're
it called for that. But I just was me. Like, I started singing what I wanted to sing because I always loved disco music. Like, always. Like,
Yeah.
I love groovy stuff. I just started wearing my hair how I wanted to.
the Donna Summer hair.
Get dressed how I wanted. You know,
Yeah.
some people say Donna Summer, some people say Tina Turner.
Yeah.
It's like a bridge, but I love them both. So I just started doing me, and then I auditioned for that show. And in the past, I had never auditioned for the show because I had a fear of not
making
casted.
it. Yeah.
Right. And when I auditioned, they were like, where'd you come from? So I ended up doing a ton of roles in that show, and then I got picked up by a couple of show bands, some producers, and from there, like, I just started putting music out in 2017 and building my team and stuff like that, and here I am.
And you were saying, like, the style of music you like you like disco, you like that kind of. As a matter of fact, we're gonna play some of your songs, but let's play a
Okay.
cover. Like, you did "I Want You"
Yeah.
as a cover. Let's play that real quick, the Marvin Gaye sample, because you do a lot of 70s that kind of cover vibe. Is that just the genre of music you just like the most?
Well, I'm really is that the word? Yeah, impacted by, like, music from, like, the late 70s into the early 80s. I love that feel of music. But it's not just that, though. It's like, because I don't like to limit myself. But it's like, I feel like that's what I like right now. You know, that's what I've always liked. But, you know, maybe the stuff that you're hearing right now is heavily influenced by those things. But I can do anything. I can make folk music.
Yeah.
I can write a pop record, a country
I mean,
record.
And I mean, you
explained
went to
that on-
school for music too,
Yeah.
so I mean, you got to be trained in a whole lot of different aspects of music.
And on a lot of songs, I mean, you've recorded, like, the few I've heard, it's just been like that. I was like, oh, this is how you're feeling right now, because
Yeah.
you've made pop records before, and I've heard, I'm like, oh, okay, but this is where you're at right now in
Right.
your career, and that's what's awesome.
And I think, like, the cool thing about music right now is there's, like, no such thing as genre. Like,
No.
the first thing people ask me, you know, or I'm sure all artists is like, what genre? What kind of music do you make? And that's why it's literally so difficult for me to answer, because I feel like everything has hints of me in it. Like, you're going to hear me. But, you know, a lot of it is heavily influenced by maybe a disco vibe or a house vibe or, you know, that shit just got a groove. Like, if it grooves, like, and I know groove can mean so many things to people.
Yeah.
But a groove for me one day could be psychedelic, and a groove for me the next day could be an acoustic, a folky kind of feel. You know what I mean? It just depends. You know, some days I like congas, and some days I like hi-hats. It just depends. You know?
I understand.
I can't sing, so I mean, I don't know.
Multifaceted.
How do you know? How do you know you can't sing?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know? Well, at least
I
you know yourself.
Oh, I'm not gonna say I don't
thyself.
try. I'm not gonna say I won't sing. I'm saying I can't sing.
We've been saying Going Up Yonder all week. We know.
I was about to
can't
say
sing.
It's been going down.
Yeah,
We know we can't
Yeah,
sing. We
I
just
can't
sing it.
No, nobody's gonna pick up my mixtape.
Yeah.
I know that.
If you have a song in your heart, you should just let it ring.
Oh,
Plus
don't do
nowadays,
that.
I mean,
I'ma get
auto-tune.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna get an old black woman being like, "Oh, bless your heart. Look at you.
That's their favorite thing to say.
Bless your heart, baby.
Oh, baby,
Yeah.
sing through it.
Come on, yeah.
Let them use you."
Let 'em use you.
Like,
That's
nah,
it.
okay, man.
That is
That's
cute.
fine. That's fine. How much did your family influence you in terms of your musical styling?
A lot. My grandparents actually raised me, my grandmother. And so I was in the house with her. She was listening to a lot of blues. And so it's funny because when I stopped singing opera, or when I like made that shift, I felt kind of lost. Like, I was just like, okay, how do I do runs? That's what I used to say. Like, how do I sing soulfully? And it's literally just going back to your roots. That's all I did. Like, I went back to my roots, and I realized that growing up in that house, like, it was a lot of blues, for one, like a lot of Johnny Taylor, Little Milton, Buddy Ace, Bobby Bland. But she had like an immense record vinyl collection. So I was listening to everything. Like, my first cassette tape when I was younger, dang, that make me sound old, huh? My first cassette tape was Barry White.
Okay.
And then my first CD was Mariah Carey. No, that's a lie. My first CD was Michael Jackson History, the collection.
Oh, the double
yeah,
double disc.
the past, present, future. And then it was Mariah Carey Heartbreaker. And so, like, it was all over the place. Like, when I think about it, like, I loved, like, Earth, Wind, and Fire when I was little. I loved Shaka Khan. I loved Donna Summer. So, you know, like, it was all over the place. But my roots were not, you know, classical. That was kind of what I picked up in school and what I found that I was good at. But it definitely honed my technique, because now, you know, I can sing and sing and sing and sing and not be hoarse, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would say growing up in that household, like, I was just exposed to so much music, and even just like jazz, like Sarah Vaughan and Dizzy Gillespie, and just, she had all kind of records. So I think it definitely influences my music now, because you can hear kind of all of that in there. It's experimental almost.
And that's crazy that, you know, your family and what you get exposed to at such a young age will affect what you listen to. Because you were talking about your first CD. Well, first, I know we're older. I'm definitely older. My first cassette was, it's long. Fat Boys, Fresh Prince? Probably something like that.
Yeah.
And then I know the CD, like, I know I listened to, who's the jazz dude? Earl Klugh? K-L-U-G-H. The only reason I know that I listened to him is because we had a neighbor that was just getting rid of a CD. Like, he was like, I already got this one. Here, you can have it. I ain't have no other CD. So I just played that CD over and over again. So now I just listen to the dude. That's it.
That one, and his first real CD was Chris Cross.
No.
Bomb.
That was the first CD that I was purchased for me.
Okay.
Criss Cross.
Da Bomb.
Da Bomb.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, Criss Cross, I mean, they cool. They can't really rap. But this dude, the Brat, is the hardest. And that's what, because I didn't know.
We didn't know.
I ain't seen a video or
Yeah.
nothing. I said, this dude, the Brat, is the hardest rapper on the face. And then I saw her. I was like, yo,
This is
the
a
Brat
Don't
girl,
you miss
yo,
that, though?
she's the best rapper.
Yeah, not
ever.
knowing who the
And
people
music,
were.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
And having to wait. I remember I was like,
missed
Big
that.
Pun, and you had to
Like
look for songs and
discovering
be
people.
like,
You had to.
Who are,
Yeah.
what song are
And
they
then
on? And then
you would find out like little quirky things, like, oh my God, they like French fries. I love French fries too.
Yeah.
But you would find out those little things, those little nuances.
months.
Yeah, it took so long.
Now it's a day. You'd be like, who is this?
Go on their page. You know what they done ate for breakfast.
All time ever.
Everything. Here's 8 videos about them. Here's a story about their life. Here's their house. Here's their mother. Here's
I'm like,
Right.
golly, this is so much information. I don't need this.
Now, you're named after your grandmother?
Yes.
That's where, okay. So
you can imagine why my mom did not like me having the username who the F is Lenora. She was like, that's my mama name.
Oh man, that's deep.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your grandmother. Your grandmother, she was the one that she started the newspaper.
Yeah, Forward Times.
Okay. So tell us about Forward Times.
So Forward Times is my family business. My grandfather founded it in 1960, and he unfortunately passed away in 71. Due to a heart attack, because there was like a ton of racial tensions at that time.
Really?
Sort of like now.
I was about to say.
In the 60s?
Big
yeah, we
surprise.
were, right? In the
There
60s.
was racial tension
Right.
back then?
Wow.
Yeah, we like our building got bombed, like all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so he had a heart attack, and my grandmother was a 29-year-old widow, and he was older than her. And so she had 2 little girls, and people placed bets. Like, they were like, she's going to sell the business or she's going to go out of business. First, they gave her 6 months. She surpassed that, gave her a year, gave her whatever. She ended up seeing us through the 50 years of business. And so in 2010, she passed away due to a heart attack. And my mom picked up the mantle, and she's now the publisher. And I'm there as the operations manager. My life is crazy because it's literally like a lot of times I'll be running in there and then leaving to go to a show.
Yeah.
I'll be doing interviews on the office phone, but it's fun. Like I love working with my family and for my family. That's been a blessing. And also the good thing is, like, you know, artists don't tell you that side of, like, you know, people oftentimes try to give you this glamorous, like, yeah, like all I do is, I step on the stage, I go off the stage and I hibernate and I put cucumbers on my eyes and I whatever. But yeah, mama got to work. So I literally do that, but I'm afforded that opportunity to be able to have the flexibility to do both, because I can just say, hey, mom, I got to go to LA for the week or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And it's a blessing. But yeah, we are soon to be 60 year in 2020. You're a Black business. We're a community-based newspaper, and we report our news. We report, the good that the mainstream media won't talk about, the dailies won't talk about, that goes on in our community. I mean, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. I was on there today, and it's like it's definitely focused towards us. Like I saw the article you had up about the rise of the suicide rates just amongst Black people, but you also have news focused just towards African Americans.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic.
And let me tell you what's funny about how everything just works hand in hand. Like when I was younger, I got a lot of my CD collection because people would send them to the office. At that time, labels and, PR people were sending physical CDs to media and stuff like that. So my mom would be like, here, you can have a CD, so I was listening to like random like demos and stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I consumed a lot of music that way. And I remember when I graduated from college, I was just like, I do not want to work here. I don't know why. I think it was just because I do know why. I was just like, I just want to be a star. Like, I don't want to do that. And I remember, like, when I was graduating, all my friends, I went to like a PWI, so a lot of my friends were like rich, and they were like, yeah, I'm going to the Amalfi Coast after graduation. I was like, Mom, what am I going to do when we get back? She's like, come to work on Monday. I was like, oh. And so what's funny is I left there, and I went and worked in corporate, and I came back, but she made me earn that. She made me earn coming back. And
that's worth it.
yeah, and she made me earn it. And I remember her telling me, my mom she would always want me to do correspondence work.
Yeah.
She was like, I really, really want you to interview people. I see that for you. The Holy Spirit revealed it to me. Like, I know I'm not trying to sound overly whatever, but I'm just giving you what God gave me. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And I told her, you know what I told her? Let me tell you what she told me and how this was the day that my mom, like, humbled me forever. I said, Mom, I don't want to do that because it's going to be confusing for my brand. Like, they're not going to know how to identify me as an interviewer or as a singer. She said, but sweetie, nobody knows you.
Man, sobering words from your mama.
Oh, yeah. Moms will
that's
put
what
you
it
in
is.
I
place.
said, okay. And then after that happened, maybe a year or two later, I started getting into correspondence work. And that's what formed a lot of connections for me. A lot of my closest friends I met from that. Like, I don't know if y'all familiar with Masego.
Yes.
I met Masego by interviewing him at the Jack Daniels Art Beats and Lyrics show in 2015. And to this day, we're like tight, you know?
That's awesome.
I met a lot of my friends from doing that.
Making those connections.
From making those
through
connections, going to those
correspondence.
shows
Yeah.
and corresponding and doing that. And she would tell me, my mom was like, you have the type of personality to where you will get in. You just it's going to help you get in that door. Just listen to me. And I ain't listen at first, but now I listen. And shout out to her because she was right.
Your mama's been right about like most things
Pretty
that
much
you told
everything
us so
so far.
far.
So y'all trying to
So
tell me
far.
I don't need to cuss?
So far.
I think we all don't need to curse right now. Now
Probably
I'm
our
like,
mom says the
dang.
same thing.
I
She
was
said the
just
same
with
thing.
my
Wait,
mama.
hold up. Y'all brothers?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
That's why
us.
you were like, no.
That's us right there.
Yeah.
Y'all done got me on y'all, that is beautiful.
Yeah, we're brothers. We're
Our
So
mom
this
says
is
it all
a
the
family
time. Like,
business
stop crap.
too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's why when Todd sees us, he's always like, we're brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah.
That is too
It's
cute.
funny.
And that's how, even when we first started, our number one listeners was my mom and dad. My dad listens to this show.
Our dad is our number one fan. I love him.
and
to
he
death.
listens
love
to
that.
no rap. So he'll
Yeah.
literally have no clue. He'll have no clue who it is. He's like,
Love you, Dad.
He know
love
y'all
your mom
killing
too.
it.
so, and just mispronouncing names.
Yeah.
So DeBeezy.
The BZ.
He
Yeah.
does a little with the Slimmy, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's Dope
I
Beezy.
love
what
it.
is Dope
I
Beezy
love
and
when
Slim
parents
Thug?
are just like parents. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. But now, like, people be confusing me. People be like smoking with their parents and stuff.
Look,
That's too
nah,
far.
that's not it.
I miss the days when parents was
Because
just
I
parents.
feel like there were a lot of, and it's happening a lot more now. When we go, like, because I'll do stuff for the Houston Press, we'll go cover concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was at the Young Thug concert, and I'm like, why are you up here with your kids? Like,
so strange.
Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, and it'd be like just different levels of parents where I'm like, okay,
Different
like
levels.
y'all.
It's levels
no,
to this
because
parenting.
well, it's like
Yeah, there's
you're an
levels
older
to it.
parent and like you got a younger kid. Like I was like, yo, I don't know if you should have your 8-year-old at the Young Thug concert. No
No,
shots
yeah.
against Young Thug. I just
Yeah.
don't think your 8-year-old should be at the Young Thug concert. One is
What
late.
do you know? You don't have children.
Yeah.
I know,
I'm
that's
like,
how they be
okay.
feeling.
I was like, well,
Be
one is
like,
late,
bruh.
but two, you know, like I be teaching them sometimes, and I'll be like, you the parent, like.
Right.
How come your son's
Your
not awake?
8-year-olds
How come
can
your son
come-
not awake? Oh, he was at the Young Thug concert last night. You know what I'm saying? He had like, no.
Like, no,
No.
man.
Just get busy.
Let
Not
your
at all.
kid get some sleep.
Well, your 8-year-old can come to my concert. It's kid friendly most times.
The Motown, I'm pretty sure we've seen you at the Motown. We definitely took our
Yeah,
cousins.
we've
to the
been
we went to the
a
Motown
few
Review a bunch of
times.
times.
It's like a big black family
Yes.
reunion. I love it
Yes.
so much.
Now the only reason
Sitting
we
on a
didn't go this
blanket,
last summer
chilling.
is because the heat was record. Like I was like, nah, I can't do
Oh, yeah,
it.
he's gonna
It's
pass out.
so hot.
Yeah, it was so hot. It
Well,
was too
that's
much.
also because when you go, somebody has to like take the L and get there super early and like black out the spot.
That's usually
Oh,
us.
because everybody wants to sit on the hill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get the
And
spot on the
that's-
hill.
My
That's
family
us.
sits under the cover.
Oh no,
Well,
we got
it's-
Your
it.
let me
family
tell-
VIP.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
about to
true.
say,
You know,
so
four
they
times
can
like his
show
spots
up.
at the
Exactly.
the show.
Like,
So they
yeah.
can show up whenever. Like,
but
okay.
but you know they'll release some seats on you too. But I also need them there because I need to hear them. Like my brother is the loudest and like he's my favorite. Like I just perform different when he's in the audience because he used to play football, so he screams like he's at a game.
Okay.
Like he be let's go.
That's what's up.
And that just amps me up. I
Hit
just,
that run.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just, like,
mean,
I
nobody-
just really hit it then.
Nobody can
Just
like.
hit different.
Yeah,
Nobody
nobody's gonna
posts
cheer for
you like
your
your family. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody gasses you like your family.
true.
And nobody's gonna humble you like your family.
No.
So that's it.
Exactly.
They'll humble
In
you.
my
They'll
humble
gas you
opinion.
up
You
in
see
your
what I
humble
did
opinion.
there?
There you go.
Wow.
That's how it works. She did the rib shot.
She did. Wow.
I know.
Oh,
Somebody
cornier
told
than me
me.
in here.
I know.
Like,
Somebody
yeah.
told me the other day that somebody was my boyfriend. Let me just be real. He told me, you will have a Netflix special of just dad jokes. He was like, you're like the queen of dad jokes.
Oh, you got to get on dad jokes.
Yeah.
They do that on what Kevin on stage?
They ended it.
First of
they
all,
ended
I'm,
dad
Channel's
jokes?
over. ADD is done.
So
wait,
now
I
it's
didn't even know that was a real thing. I
Yeah.
thought y'all was playing.
No.
Kev on
just Google-
stage
just
has a
Google
thing, just
ADD.
Google dad jokes.
Yeah.
They were going dad jokes against each other, but now you know the lane is open.
It's open.
Like
for
the
real?
lane is
Yeah,
open.
there was
Oh,
a
it's
show called
Destiny.
Dad Jokes.
Destiny.
Yes.
Dad jokes is wide
Black
open. You just got to
owned.
get out
Black
there and just do
It
owned.
that.
was, but then
To get the
Russell
paper to
Simmons
sponsor
ended
dad
it.
jokes,
Yeah.
you just start hitting people
You
with the
right.
dad jokes going back and
You
forth.
right.
He could be your
Y'all,
first
that's an
guest. He
idea.
love a dad joke.
yeah, I do
You do?
comedy
You know,
sometimes.
or
I'm a comedian
or
at point.
there's also our dad. Who would
Oh,
love-
that's the
Oh,
master
you know,
of the
I
dad
would love
jokes.
to have y'all's dad on
like,
the, on the
he
dad
puts
jokes.
out some of the worst dad jokes.
I'm like, does he have a
And
book?
It's constant.
And it's always new. It's
and
always
he
and it's
does
current.
he does the pause where
Yeah.
he's like,
He
yeah,
waits
no.
for it.
Yeah.
We're all sitting there like,
Oh man, but I'd be like, that's a good one.
Why?
Y'all better
That's
hype
a
him
good
up.
one. Got
Nah,
to.
he's real big on.
He's
the
the
dad
big.
jokes.
So he's listening.
He's listening now.
Yeah,
Like in
he's
3
a
weeks, he's
huge
gonna be like,
supporter.
Wait,
yeah,
how
you hear
can
about
he
the dad
listen?
jokes.
He has like the exclusive.
No.
No,
I mean,
no,
he's
no.
gonna
He's
be
gonna
listening
listen.
to the
Oh,
show when
okay,
it comes out, but
okay.
he's always the one.
And
When
then
we
he'll
first
text you at 3
recorded,
o'clock in the morning and just talk about something that
he'll send you a
happens.
text.
It's like, what are you talking? That was 3 weeks
At
ago.
3 in the morning.
Or like 6 months later, you'd be like, I heard you like. I'm like, I don't.
When we first recorded, we were like logging up the episodes. We were like, oh, okay, we'll have these ready. So some of these were like, like 3-4 months back. And just come up to you with the thing. So you think you got the best barbecue?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
He did that to me. He's like,
Who?
I heard you. You think my brother has the best barbecue? I
What
was
are you talking
like, what,
about?
I don't remember.
I said, what? He
I was
goes, you
like-
said on the podcast.
I
I
did.
love it.
We said that in February.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that was a long
I
time
say a
ago.
lot of things.
That's funny.
Fair
Let's quit
enough.
talking about Larry and this barbecue hate. Let's go to let's play Take a Chance. Take a
Hey.
Chance. Let's play the Take a Chance video. Let's get to some original music by Lenora. Not simply Lenora.
I do got the juice though. Dad jokes.
You do.
Where'd y'all film this?
Off Alameda, close to my house.
Yeah, that's exactly where that. I know where it's at. That's
Y'all
right
know
near
where
that
it's
high
at?
school. That's at some club. I don't know.
Alley Cat?
No,
Where we at?
the flat.
Oh, the flat.
Really?
That was
Okay.
after I did Isaiah Carey.
Ah.
Well, we all know where that is.
And there's like a disco version to this, but it's only on SoundCloud. 'Cause I ain't want the problems with Ashford and Simpson.
Oh man,
They will come
They will
for
come
you.
for me.
They will
Valerie.
definitely come for you.
they come from everywhere. Don't the face really?
I know. Well, the purpose of this one was like super random. Like we wanted, since it was stripped, we wanted to like just make it real. Cause you know, a lot of people thought I was an Instagram model for a long time.
Wait, you're not?
Fuck you.
Where'd you get the joke?
First of all, that was a light flex, though. You're like,
Yeah.
a lot of people thought I was an Instagram
Yeah.
model for a while.
They did, because you want to know why? My page accidentally went like viral at the time before Instagram like bossed up on us with this algorithm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like a free for all.
Yeah.
My page, like at that time, I wasn't putting music out. Remember, I told you I started like 2017. So like 2016, I made an Instagram like later once I quit my corporate job. I was just like, all right, I can make an Instagram now. So I make this Instagram, and I was like, I don't know what to post. So like I would just like take pictures, selfies, whatever. And one time my mom took a picture of me in a swimsuit in our backyard for 4th of July, and I put it up, and it like went viral, and it got thousands and thousands of likes.
And that's when your name was
It was yeah. It was.
Oh, I know
then.
that picture.
Yeah, that
Your
was
abs
the-
was popping.
They was popping.
Your
in.
abs was
See,
popping.
I was
Yeah.
in shape then, so it was like I was in shape, but I still
Wow.
had a little thickness. So it just was all coming together, and so I put that picture up, and then like just everybody started following me because it went like it was all over the Explorer. So like rappers and stuff, and like athletes were like, but at that time people wasn't doing that like that to me. So I was. Honestly, it almost made me, at that time, I wanted to delete my page because, when that happens, a bunch of trolls come too.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like, people was just like, kill
absolutely.
yourself. And I was like,
Oh.
why? What'd I do?
So
So,
Dang.
yeah, so
People are
basically,
trash.
God,
So trash. So my following kind of was like growing because of that, right? So then in 2017, when I'm just like, oh, y'all, like, I know I really didn't tell y'all who I was because I was just posting pictures my mom took in the backyard, but I'm really a singer. Like, I'm actually a musician. Like, I'm like, for real, I'm a trained musician. I can read music.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay. So I
He
had
was like,
to.
show us your abs.
Yeah. Like, for a long
Okay,
time, people was
okay.
like unfollowing me because they was just like, we want to see booty.
Oh,
We don't want to
wow.
hear this.
Okay.
Wow.
It made room, like, all the trash people left, and then, like, a bunch of, like, people who just wanted to hear the music started following me. So it's, like, it's all, like, leveled out now. And it's, like, people know me for music instead of
It's a
Instagram
blessing.
modeling. Yeah, it's such a blessing. So the Take a Chance stripped video, the reason we made it like that was because a lot of times my friends will tell me, like, Phil Wade, he'll tell me, like, because he's so funny, he's like, you know, you're a really funny person. Like, just as your friend, I think you don't show that enough online. And for me, I was just like, I don't like forced stuff. So, like, to have my phone out, like, talking to it is weird to me.
Yeah.
It is.
So I was like, let me do it in my art, right? So, like, with that video, I was like, it's a strip song. It's a real song. Let's just, like, take some of my favorite moments in my phone and, like, you know, some of the moments that Riot Muse, like, my creative collaborator, that she has, and let's just piece them together and let's present this to people and kind of just, like, give them, like, almost like a day in the life on my journey, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why we shot it like that. So it's shot by both of us. It's, like, shot on iPhone and on a camcorder, and
Oh, that's not
stuff
bad.
like that.
And it feels funny. So if Phil say you funny, you funny.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm
Good.
glad that Phil thinks I'm funny. So
And this one, you said this was after Isaiah Carey.
it was right after the green shot in the flat. We had just left Isaiah Carey show, and it went really well. And so I was like, let's
it?
go to the flat
Yeah.
and let's get drunk. So
Make a
we
video.
went,
Go to the
and on
flat
that
for it.
video, what I was dancing to was, you know, the Anderson. Like, first of all, as soon as we walked in and got our drink, like, literally, I walked in, got my drink, and then, like, as I'm putting my hand on my drink, I hear dum, dum, voila. You know the "Am I wrong to assume?"
Oh, Anderson Paak.
If she can't dance.
Yeah.
That she can't. Ooh, and I was like, y'all, this is destiny. I'm supposed to be here. So I just, like, started. Like, I danced so hard to that song. I remember I had on, like, some tights under my little green number. My tights started ripping. It was so much fun at the flat that night. I love
You
the
had a
flat.
good night. It was a good 24 hours. You went and wrecked it on the stage, and you had to come back, and you just wrecked it in your personal
You
life.
know what I'm saying? Don't say wreck though, because, you know, we got to drive home. So
Oh, well, yeah.
I got in a
Of
bad
course.
wreck last year.
No.
Y'all didn't know about that?
No, what
I
happened
did
with
not.
that? Tell us about.
I'm so ashamed. So I got in a bad wreck. There were no other cars involved.
Oh.
I fell asleep at the wheel
Oh.
after a Slim Thug pool party.
Okay.
So really what happened was nobody was swimming at the party. Everybody was just
It
like
was a Slim Thug pool party.
right. They was just standing around like the Big Pimpin' Jay-Z video.
I
And I was
I love my people. I do.
They
but
was.
we do like to get dressed up and stand
by
the pool.
So I brought my
Except for that
friends.
one girl that jumps in and then everybody talks about her. So,
Well, it wasn't just me. Me and my friends jumped in.
okay.
Oh, so
And
you were the
you were the girl.
You were the
We-
girl.
yeah, I was the
Okay.
girl.
You got
but
talked
it was like
about.
the end of the night.
Yeah.
And we were like, nah, y'all. We
I
was
was like, man, we at the pool. We
we
getting
was
in the
racing
pool.
at one point. Like we
Okay.
was racing. So
that's what's
after
up.
that, we was tired. So I dropped a few of my friends off home, and then I went home and we changed, me and my other friend, and we were like, let's go get something to eat and then, you know, go back home. Child, on the way back from eating, and I know why it happened too. It was because where I decided to eat.
Where'd you eat? I want to know.
Chachos?
Yes,
I
Yeah,
knew she was
I know
going to say
Chachos.
nachos.
I went to
What'd you get?
Chacho's.
What'd you
What'd
get,
you
the
get?
nachos?
It was a burrito.
No, I got a breakfast taco.
Breakfast taco.
Yeah, I got two breakfast
big one.
tacos.
Two Them things
Two
is
breakfast
huge.
tacos.
So I parked and ate it, and then I'm like driving home on
The one on the
Alameda.
south side?
the one off 610.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only one that
Yeah,
really matters.
the
That's
only one that matters.
The only one
That's
that
the one
matters.
that we're
So I'm
near.
driving home. I get to like Alameda and like airport, and I don't even know. Like I hit that ditch and the truck flipped, and it was bad. And like I remember OnStar called the police immediately, and like they got there and stuff, and They had to
thank
like
God for
pull
all
us
this.
through the sunroof because
I'm
the doors
sorry,
were
man.
jammed. So I like fractured my spine and my lungs collapsed and
Oh,
My
shoot.
goodness.
my eye was like bust. I had to get stitches in my elbow. It was bad. But tell me why that happened like Saturday night, Sunday morning. I was at Essence Fest on Thursday because I was like, listen,
With the
I got
collapsed
things
lungs?
to do. I had a
But
back
that-
brace on, yeah. And shades. Let me tell you what I did. I had on like aviator shades, and then every outfit I had to change all my outfits because I had got styled specifically for Essence. I was sick, y'all. My fitting, I was working out so hard because like I was about to serve the girls and the boys some looks. I had looks for days for y'all asses.
Trying to kill it, yo.
But
But did
then
they
I
fit
almost
the
killed
brace?
myself.
I'm about
so-
to say,
Yeah.
did they fit the back brace
you
and
know,
everything?
so I couldn't. We couldn't go that route. Needless
Okay.
to say. So first of all, everybody was like, "Please stay home. Like, look at you. Just look at you. Look at you. Now look at you." So I just like I changed all my attire to like black.
Yeah.
And I just would put it on and like some aviators and like some combat boots.
Yeah.
And it just looked like a lot of people thought it was just like a Rhythm Nation type of,
He's going the whole Janet Jackson route.
you know. But then, you know, in New Orleans, some people would look a little longer and be like, that's it. One dude, he asked me, the hotel bell dude, he was like, that's a baby carrier? I was like, no, it's not a baby carrier.
That's a good
Feel like
accent.
it's a back brace.
You know, that's the only accent I can do pretty well is a New Orleans accent because I lived there. But he thought it was
I lived
that.
there too. I can't do a New Orleans accent.
Really?
I was there for 5 years.
We
For real?
College.
Can't do no
What
accent.
college you went to?
Xavier.
Okay. My
Yeah.
mom went to Xavier. Yeah. So a lot of people thought that it was like a fashion statement. Like, I remember Ro James at this Spotify event. He was like, where you get that? And he was like, wait, that's orthopedic? I'm like, yeah, it's orthopedic.
Wow.
So
You should have started making stuff up. Gucci.
Yeah, exactly.
I got
I
it's a
had this
Gucci
He'll be
brace.
like, give me one. He'll
It's
be
a
like,
Gucci
I'll
brace.
keep you in mind,
I'll keep
Ro
you in mind. I'll
James.
see if that
Yeah.
they trying to. They
he
still
told
working
me
on
I
it.
should have started a back brace line.
You should have.
Yeah.
I should have, but I
Now
missed
wait a
the
minute.
mark
Wait a
on that.
minute. You were performing and working out there.
I didn't perform.
Okay.
I did not perform.
Okay. So what was going on at Essence that year that you're like, yo,
I had to go.
I gotta go.
Them events.
You
Them
were
events.
just like, yo.
I could have performed, but I really didn't feel comfortable because my
Damn, I
lungs
thought you was
collapsed.
your lungs
performing.
was
When you
tough.
said you was serving up looks, I was like, yo, you was getting on the stage.
Because I couldn't.
Nah, you was
yeah,
just
I couldn't.
she
stunned.
I
do it.
couldn't do it. My
You
lungs
came
was
to stunt.
collapsed.
So wait, and this is just because I just don't know. When your lungs collapse, I'm just like, what they do? They just
They was
all I'm
tired.
picturing is somebody just blowing air into you and blowing up your lungs. But I know that's not medical, and now I feel bad because I feel like I'm shaming Xavier
medical
University.
community, yeah.
But I'm not a doctor. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? I ain't go to
You're
medical school. No. So how does one? They reinflated your lungs? Like what happens? Do they just gotta wait? They just gotta you'll get back together. Like how does it work?
Well, there's like this. Dang, I don't even know the name of it anymore. But there's like this little plastic tool thing, and you have to like blow into the machine, and then Dang, I feel so bad trying to explain this because I'm doing a terrible job. But it's like, imagine like a plastic thing and it has like numbers
you're
on it.
talking
You know what I'm talking about? And then like as you blow air into it, it's gonna
It
like
goes
rise
up?
up,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
want to get it to a certain level.
Oh, so they're like today you need to get it to a 3.
Right.
Or something like okay.
But like my lungs was like shot. So I was like, I don't think I can sing, you know? But
Sorry.
I still felt like something in me is telling me I still need to go to Essence because it was like so many events going on too.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to sit there and be depressed about
No,
what
and
happened.
that's the
So
thing.
that's
A lot of
good.
people were upset with me about going. Namely, my best friend. She was mad. She didn't want to talk to me. She was just like, "You need to stay home." But
Have y'all made up now?
yeah,
Okay.
but I was so happy I went because for one, like I feel like I expedited my healing process because when
Yeah.
you're just like laying in the bed, like you're just like it's depressing. Your
just
body
kinda
is like
sits.
stiff.
Yeah.
I was forced to move around. I really didn't do that much. Like I went to like an event a day. So I was in the hotel and then I would get up, maybe get some breakfast, maybe go like to an event, and then I would go lay back down.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing too much, but I was still at Essence, you know. And then the other thing is like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Met a lot of cool people there too.
Yeah.
And my back brace was a talking piece. Like, it ended up being like a conversational piece.
Yeah.
Like, because people were asking me about it. So
So
Yeah,
you're
'cause
like,
you
this
showed
worked
up.
out
You was
well.
like, I'm
my
not
back
gonna
brace
not
was
be
like
here.
a business card for me. It was
Yeah.
just like, hey, what's your story?
Yeah.
What happened to you? But I had my shades on the whole time. Because when I took it off, I looked like, what's the dude from Friday? My grandmama gave me this chain. That's what my eye looked like.
Golly.
I
Damn.
promise. It was like, you know,
Really?
when the vessel bus, so it's red,
Yeah.
and then it's like black around here.
So you just have to keep the
You
shades
look like,
on.
It
all
looked
the
like
time.
somebody-
Martin after Tommy the Hitman Hearns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Wow.
I took my glasses off, like, people would
like,
probably think like
"Oh."
somebody beat my ass.
Oh, that's
Damn.
what it is.
It was
like
bad.
Tina Turner.
You gotta
Shit.
But
start
you
talking
couldn't
like,
tell when
walk to a
you
door.
had the whole look. The aviators with the black unit and the back brace and the combat boots.
Now, what your mom say
The
about
back
you going to
brace and the
Essence?
combat
Was she
boots.
You know
pro
what?
Essence or against Essence?
She didn't mind.
Okay, so see, mom is right again. Mom is
Yeah.
batting 1,000. She's
Mom,
like,
yeah,
it's
mom
good,
was
it's
like,
cool.
well, you know your body best. You know your
You
body
know your body
best.
best.
So,
Now,
you know, if you want to go.
since you are okay and everything is great, now you're healed up.
Mm-hmm.
Before the accident, as you were falling asleep,
Mm-hmm.
best sleep of your life, wasn't it?
You out of control.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
I
I'm
don't
just saying,
remember. I don't
Anytime
feel like
that
I went to
have,
sleep.
anytime you're driving and you kind of doze off for a second.
No, that was
It's
the
the-
worst sleep. That
it's
was
the
some,
best.
That was some expensive sleep.
That's some
Oh, of
expensive-
course, afterwards.
expensive.
Right.
But that
Expensive
brief
cha-cha.
I really
second,
don't remember.
that's why I was like, yo, I just got to pull over and just lay down.
I really don't remember falling asleep. I
Really?
promise. I really don't. But I remember the exact feeling when I hit that ditch. Like, I remember my teeth just clamped together all
Oh
hard.
my goodness.
It was like,
What were
like,
you driving?
it was
What
hard.
truck?
A Suburban. I was driving my mom's truck, y'all.
You know
They
what? That's
got
probably
you
for the
in the
best.
Suburban
Yeah,
too.
if I was, because
That's
they told
probably
me
for
if
the
I was,
best,
because
too.
I
Yeah.
nose dove.
Yeah, if you had been in
Okay.
any
If
other
I
car.
was in my Jeep, they said that because it's shorter,
Oh, yeah, Jeeps.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the
cars,
airbags
I
didn't
know.
deploy.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, now I got to go check my airbag. Now I'm
Right,
worried.
you want to check them because it was crazy.
I'm worried about everything now. Somebody tried to break into our, like they broke into my car the other day, but they didn't. They didn't crack the glass. And at first I was like, cool. They tried. You could see it on both sides. They couldn't get through. And I'm talking to the people for the insurance, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's real difficult to break the glass on these cars. And I'm like, oh, cool. But then I was like, man, what if my car goes underwater? How am I get out?
You should have that
Right.
thing.
I got to get that. But the thing didn't work. He couldn't get in my car with the thing.
We gotta make
I'm
sure
sure
these
you can
things
get
work.
out, but you know
I
what?
got to go to the back.
Know what to
seat,
get
crack
you
the
for your
glass.
birthday. Ha ha.
Thank you.
Ding,
Give me
ding,
a
ding.
glass breaker.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't be. That's all I'll be worried about. Little stuff like
I
that.
can't
I
be. I
know.
can't have you die. Because it's gonna be, half the podcast. And I kind of need you.
It'd
for
be
that.
real difficult. What would you do afterwards?
Replacement.
You
I'd
just
have
keep going?
yeah.
Who
He
would
lying.
replace me?
Sheldon, Todd,
God damn it,
Tubo,
Don't rattle off a list.
Yeah.
Don't do him.
Randeezy, Randall, my boy.
Okay, that's great.
You just said all these names,
That's
but you ain't
great.
say the most obvious name.
You?
Simply Lenora.
Oh wow! Simply Lenora.
Simply.
That's cool.
Simply.
That's cool.
Simply. She did it again.
Simply.
Hitting with these
You
dad
know what?
jokes.
That's real cool.
She's
That's
batting
cool.
1,000 on these jokes.
And my whole thing is, if you passed away, I just keep the podcast going, but it just be me. Like I said, I don't know. Is that an
See?
ego thing? I wouldn't even replace you. I put a sign up.
Y'all can't even.
I
have
said
this
I would
no
replace
more.
you
I
out
put a
of.
sign up. I would do a thing.
Yeah, he could.
Where I faded him out,
Nah.
like Back to the Future.
He could keep it.
So, I just fade him out slowly in the background. They'd be like, oh,
I was
okay.
being nice. I could do a one-man show. We know I can.
Okay,
But,
okay.
we would both keep each other there because that's just money right there. You'd be like, you got to support in my humble opinion. And God bless that, my brother who passed away and blah, blah, blah and all that. You just get avenue.
I'm glad you have the speech
I
ready.
can't believe y'all doing this right now.
I'm glad you got the speech already.
Okay.
Oh, Mama's gonna talk to you later. All right.
And
Like,
Dad.
I don't like. No, my dad won't care.
No.
You know,
He
your
won't
mom will be
care?
like, I don't like that.
She takes jokes literally.
Don't play like
I
that.
literally, I wanted to tell you, when we came over here, she was telling me about some jokes I told her the other day when we went out. And she was like, took them too literal. And then she was like, because, I get on the podcast, I go, black and ugly as ever. And she goes, I don't know why you have to say that. You're a handsome. I said, Brenda, These are
like
jokes.
First of all, you're like, it's
She
a
don't like
Biggie
that.
verse. Second
Yeah.
of all, I don't think I'm ugly.
Yeah.
Third of all, she's like,
She goes, is that an ego thing? I go, is she really telling me about me having low self-esteem when
Bruh.
clearly I have a huge I was like,
Yo,
all
that's
right,
hilarious.
Brenda.
That's so funny.
You're
That's
right.
hilarious.
I love you to death, Mom.
I'm sorry, Mom. He be crying in his room. So
I do.
Black and
Brenda.
ugly as
I
hell,
do.
boy.
I'll be like, why?
Oh my God.
Okay, so back to
That was good. I like that
that
departure.
was the segue. So after your lungs are inflated, you're back, you're at Essence. You made a lot more connections. You come back. So what's the plans now? Because now you're releasing stuff. You also have like a real cool 70s like black exploitation vibe. Like it's a movie. What's going on?
Looking like
Okay.
a female Lionel Richie and a lot of I'm like, wow.
You are out of control.
Female
You really
Lionel
just
Richie?
flamed me though.
Like,
No.
It's
It
the
was
hair.
100.
It's the hair.
It was 100.
Hello.
No, you were standing in front of that old stereo and you had on a button-up shirt and you had on some jean bell
Oh,
bottoms
my
with the
God.
big square
I
glasses.
know exactly what you're talking
Plus,
about. I was
yeah.
at KCOH.
We seen you in the streets though. You still would have them squares. So I'm like, yo,
That
who is this person?
funny. Who is this person? Okay, yeah. So after my lungs was inflated again, I think that was around the time last year? Yeah, I released H2O in August. And then after that, released some other music this year. So I think at that time last year, I was just releasing and prepping, really.
Okay.
Because I had to prep for this ranch I was going to put out on, today.
The ranch.
So, the ranch.
Okay.
So what's funny is I have this thing to where, like, everybody knows me, and my mom knows this too, that I do naturally have sort of this 70s aesthetic or whatever. I don't do it on purpose. It's just, like I said, it's what I like. But I do not like when people, like, I usually work with, not a whole lot of people in terms of styling, photography, stuff like that. But I do not like when people make it literal and they just put me in like a 70s costume,
Okay.
So usually if it is something like that, like if it's a feeling that's like a blaxploitation feeling or something like that, it's specific for like a certain project.
Yeah.
And it's just whatever the music calls for, So like Relax, obviously, Beans and Cornbread. Okay, let's back up. So this year I had put out the stripped version of Take a Chance that we played, the acoustic version. And so I was still like, I had other songs, but I was like, this ain't it. I know what I want, but like, let me see, how I'm going to get that. So I was working with different people. And I went to LA. And before I went to LA, I was in the studio with Beans and Cornbread. Really Cornbread. Beans was on tour. Beans always on tour. I was in the studio with Cornbread, and he was playing some stuff that like he was like that I can kind of hear you on. But he was like, I really want to cook up from scratch for you. Get it? Beans and Cornbread.
Beans and cornbread. Cooking up cornbread. Scratch. I got you.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
We got to get a rim shot.
6 for 6.
So
6 for 6.
they played that track. He did, and I was like, yo, can you send me that, like, now? Like, I need to do something with this track for what is now Relax, my ranch. So I ended up going to L.A. and meeting a producer that I'm working on my album with now, a different producer. But that was my first time being there with him. And it sucked because that was, like, the one time in L.A. where it just rained and rained and rained nonstop for, like, weeks. Wow. So, like, LA is, like, not equipped for rain like that.
Not
so
at
the
all.
studio
Tony live.
Yeah, the studio I was supposed to be working out of.
Sometimes rains in Southern California.
Sometimes it rains. Okay. The studio I was working out of got flooded.
Oh, man.
And so we could only work, like, one day while I was there.
Wow.
And I was there for, like, 5 days. And so I was just like, oh, man, what are we going to do? This sucks. So it was me and Riot Muse. Riot Muse is, like I said, my creative collaborator. She's responsible for everything visual. You see, I'm responsible for the music. A lot of people don't know. It just be me and her. People be thinking we have a whole production team. It's just me and her.
Okay.
Just two women
doing
getting
it for themselves.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's up.
2 black women making it
There you
happen.
go.
So, like, I'm telling you, like, hair, makeup, styling, holding reflectors, set, like, it's just us. Like, we built the sets ourselves a lot of times. And basically, we're there and we're just like, all right, it's only so much content you can shoot. How we gonna make this music, dude? So basically, I end up hitting up a friend of mine, Josh Dean. Shout out Josh Dean. And Josh is amazing. He's an amazing like singer and songwriter, but he also is in Janelle Monáe's camp. He writes for Janelle and stuff like that. So I hit up Josh and I'm like, Josh, what you doing tonight? We ain't got nothing to do. He's like, come to the studio. So I come to the studio, and at that time I had already recorded the Rosa Mo I Want You mashup.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh my God, who is this artist and who is the producer? D-Mile, who produced Rosa Mo for Lucky Day. And at that time, when I recorded that, those covers in DJ Mr. Rogers' house. And at that time, a lot of people didn't even know who Lucky was.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, this sound is it. Like, because you know everything is cyclical in music.
Yeah.
So now people are using real instruments again.
Yes.
Back to it.
And yeah, we're back to like that. And so I was like, dang, this is what I'm on. Like, who is this producer? Who is this artist? That time Lucky probably had like 5,000 followers on Instagram. D-Mile, like, he ain't know me, so I sent him a message. He ain't say shit. and so went out to LA. Got in the studio with Josh Dean, and it's like 3 writers in there, and they just all, recording, vibing out. The dude that's engineering the session, Dab, turns, and he's like, hey, I heard you make music. Like, play some stuff. So I play Take a Chance, the disco version. He's just like, Burr? Girl? Where you from? So I tell him, I'm from Houston, whatever. He was like, you come up in here making disco music with this hair and these cowboy boots. Like, you heard of Lucky Day? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dang, I really want to get you in with D-Mile. I was like, who are you?
Wow.
And he don't even know that I recorded the cover. I didn't tell him then either.
Okay.
Because it hadn't been out yet. We hadn't cut the video or anything. So I just was just like, And he's like, yeah, like, I wrote on Rosa Mo. I was like, you wrote that?
Yeah. Big shout out to Dad.
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah. Well, are you going to be here next week? It's Grammy week. I'm like, no, I got to get back to work like a regular nigga. And so he was like, all right, well, what you doing tomorrow? So basically, we end up going to their crib the next day and just all chilling out and talking, fellowshipping and stuff. And Dad was like, okay, it was Sunday then. I was leaving Monday. He was like, I know you got to leave, but let's try to get something done. So Monday, I check out of my Airbnb. I go to the studio before my flight. My flight's like at 2, but it gets like pushed back to 4. So while we're in the studio, we end up writing and recording Relax. Like that Beans and Cornbread. I played the track. Dad was like, oh, let's do this. Like, let's fuck with this one. So we end up writing and recording the song in like an hour. And then I got on the plane and left. And I sent it to Beans and Cornbread. And I'm just like, oh, I hope they like it because I like it. Beans is like, this is crazy. I'm going to redo the drums. I got to redo. He was like, nobody's ever made me have to go back and like, redo my own production.
Yeah.
Because initially the track was intended for 0.
Really?
And I don't know what happened with it, but they had that track done for years.
Really?
It's like 2012 or something.
Wow.
And so the drums were like hitting at first. It was like it was like hard drums.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about relaxing.
I understand.
So Beans was like, I gotta fix these drums. And I'm just like, nah, it hit. He was like, no. Just let me fix the drums. So he was like, I'm gonna add some like Marvin Gaye, like Come Live With Me Angel drums. I'm like, oh, now you speaking my language. Like, I love the I Want You album. It's like one of my favorite albums ever. So he ended up fixing the drums or changing the drums because they was tight from the beginning. And then from there, I was like, we got one. Like, I know we got one. So we probably finished that like in the summer or something or like spring. And then at some point I was just like, y'all, like I told them and Dab, I was like, let's just put it out. And they were like, okay. And so we started shooting for it. But like how me and Riot Muse do stuff, we just kind of do stuff on a whim. Like it's always like, we always have a plan for stuff.
Yeah.
But when you listen to that song, it has like psychedelic roots in it. So we knew that it was supposed to look like how it looked. Like we knew we wanted to bring out the fro. Cause like, it's funny because my natural hair is a fro. So people are always like, when I have my fro, they're like, you be acting different when you got your fro. And it's like a different personality. And that personality is Sugar. It's Sugar Love. So we just decided to play up on that and like, let's bring the fro out and let's make this song. Because I have different personalities when I sing. So that song is like a Sugar song. It's just, it's real busy. Say you like real just chill, Yeah. Lenora is more like whimsical, like Lenora is like a down south Diana Ross. It's like she's like
That's
a fairy
what I was gonna
godmother.
say. Lenora's like Diana Ross.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And then Sugar is like unapologetic. She's like busy. Mm-hmm. You say you way too busy. I hope it's not for nothing, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So we knew that we was gonna give her.
Mom.
I know. Well, nigga, not a bad word.
I don't know. What does your mom think?
My mom says nigga sometimes.
But what does she think?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you know what? You'll find out.
Yeah.
Ninja.
She'll let you know.
Ninja, please. Yeah. So, we knew we wanted to pick the fro out for that, and we knew we wanted to give it a storyline because me and Ryan Muse, we love movies, we love cinematic things. But the other thing is like, I'm an indie artist. So we're working with a limited budget, right? So we were like, that's always our thing. How can we package this in a way that's thoughtful, that's artful and intentional, but with the budget that we have?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We were just like, okay, well, we had some ideas, and part of those ideas were advertising. And we just thought it was so brilliant, like commercials and advertising, because my world at Forward Times is that. Yeah. So we were basically telling a story about me, but framing it as Sugar Love. Because if you watch, so how we first rolled it out, we shot the artwork. First of all, the cover artwork, we shot in my garage at home. And then, so everything we do is like DIY. And then after we did that, we shot the commercials. So like the Relax Repellent.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, that commercial.
So basically the reason we shot, thank you, the reason we created these like faux products, people really be thinking they real too. Yeah. But the reason we shot these faux products. They were real. They are real.
I thought for a second, I was like,
one day, we kept the spray for the Relax Repellent and the pill bottle for the chill pills because I was like, one day they're going to be like worth a lot of money. So I'm going to keep them.
And you'll be like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
This is one of one.
Yeah. It's one of one.
It's the only one you can get.
This was the very beginning, y'all. Yeah. This is the beginning of Ranch. So, you
got to explain that later.
I am. Okay, so we started with the repellent because both products, the chill pills and the repellent, went inside of this whole high-ass story we came up with. And so in this story, basically, Sugar Love ends up accidentally killing her lover, her two-timing lover, who's cheating. Accidentally.
The man-eater.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So she ends up accidentally killing him because she invites him over. He's cheating on her with somebody from the paper. Sugar Love is a reporter. She's an editor, rather. And
wait, is this a real story?
That's what she said.
You know what I'm
saying? It's really close.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it's basically.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not real. Yeah. Not this part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay. She didn't kill a man.
No.
She didn't kill a man.
Didn't Ninja cheat on me with nobody from my job. I told you I work with my family. That would be real scandalous.
It would be. And we'd have the scoop.
Well, there are other people there that aren't in my family.
Okay.
But no, that part didn't happen. But basically, Sugar has this man, Willie. And Willie catches wind that he's been going behind her back hanging out with Tammy, who works at the Girls Time newspaper. That's what it's called. And when she finds out, she's like, okay, let me invite, because, I've been trying to get some one-on-one time with him. He keeps saying he's busy. He's doing all this stuff. Let's just have a night to ourselves. So she invites him over for a little nightcap to spice things up since she feels a little threatened. And she ends up giving him she spikes his drink with the chill pills, his whiskey.
And accidentally.
She accidentally puts 5 chill pills in there.
Just kills him accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah.
She also sprays the Relax Repellent, which is a room spray that's supposed to calm him down and arouse him. It's funny. And so once she finds out that, okay, so we knew that's where we were with the story. So we were like, how funny would it be to create commercials for the Relax Repellent and the Chill Pill since we implemented those products into the story? And a part of that was just us like wanting to, we've been wanting to do some like commercial, like faux advertising stuff because it shows, it really shows the audience what Riot Muse can do in terms of like visually and like creatively and like creating logos and just ideas and concepts. And then for me, like, I love doing jingles and stuff. So we were like, well, let's just do that and like have Beans and Cornbread do the music to it. So they set the music to it as well. And then we have the interrogation room scene where it kind of ties all that together. Because we wrote the commercials out first on Instagram and people were like, whoa, what is this? And then we did the interrogation room scene with Sugar, and you can hear Beans and Cornbread's voices as the interrogators, the detectives. And they're kind of cornering me. And first Sugar's lying about it. She's like, I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but I don't know who this man is. Sorry to this man. But she's just like, yeah, I didn't see him that night.
I've never seen this man before in my life.
And so that's why we call it the interrogation room scene. Sorry to this man. And so shout out Keke Palmer. And so basically they're asking me questions. And first I'm kind of lying about it. But I'm telling people in a creative way, Sugar is, that like what I do. Like she's she's a reporter at the Girls Time newspaper. So really it's telling people what I do.
Who
Lenora.
you are and what you are.
Yeah, in a different way. That's not so like blatant and, So basically after that, we have the interrogators like catching her in her lie. They're like, hey, like, sis, you lying. And we have people that said they saw this dude like leaving your house at the time, like or arriving at your house at the time of his disappearance. And so, Sugar cracks and she's like, it was an accident. But was it an accident is the question, because she's so passé about it. She's just like, it was an accident. Sue me. And they're like, this is beyond a lawsuit, ma'am. Like, this is murder.
Yeah.
And so, and then the gruesome part about it is that they're like, we found his blood in your kitchen. Like, if he overdosed, like, why is that? And I'm like, I panicked. I grabbed a kitchen cleaver.
Oh, so you definitely murdered.
Dismembered this guy.
That's
so
panicked.
That's where we are in the story.
Grabbed a cleaver and dismembered him.
So there is more to this story.
There's more to the story.
Coming.
There's more.
So there's more story. There's more Beans and Cornbread music.
Yeah.
There's
okay.
And there's more sugar.
I hope there's more. I'm gonna be real with y'all. We may or may not have a remix coming out with the feature.
Oh, okay.
And
what's this feature?
Well, I
can't say it.
Can't say.
Yeah, I can't say it.
I was just gonna try. I gotta try.
I gotta see what you're gonna say.
Okay, I'll give you a guess.
Wait a minute.
Is it a number?
Oh, you gotta give us like a hint.
No, because then y'all gonna know.
Can you tell us off camera?
Because I might be swinging for the fences. Beyonce.
Oh, how did you know?
And Jay-Z with DJ Khaled.
How
No,
did
I'm
you
saying I was
know?
swinging for the fence. I mean, like.
Yeah, I gave the queen 8 bars,
And see,
Wow.
now that I said Beyonce, it's like Beyonce, Salon.
Now that you gonna start at Beyonce, like, what if I tell y'all not excited no more?
Exactly. That's why
Yeah.
we said, you're like, ah.
Maybe I'll tell y'all after.
You
But
tell us after. You tell us after.
yeah. So we may or may not have a remix
Sweet.
coming. And yeah, we need to everybody needs to harass Beans and Cornbread so that we can make more music together.
I know.
Beans be in South
on
America,
tour
and
with
Antarctica.
Rodman.
Yeah.
You know?
I missed that show, and I was
Yeah.
so mad.
I know, I had
it's
a
our favorite
show
band.
Cover somebody else,
myself,
but,
and
oh
I
my
missed it
God.
too.
I wanted to see that show so bad.
Yeah.
I know. And I always joke with Beans because, Beans is so chill. First of all, I say that they're like Beans and Cornbread are like fancy to me. Like I be telling them they're chill, but they're also bougie. So I don't call them Beans and Cornbread. I call them lentils and brioche.
Wow.
I call beans lentils and I call
And
cornbread
brioche.
brioche.
That's
And
cute.
so I always say
They gotta
lentils.
put that on a beat tag.
Yeah.
Lentils
and brioche.
Yeah.
Brioche.
Yeah.
So I was joking with them because that day I had a show. I played a wedding the day of the Khruangbin show, and the wedding was at Minute Maid Park. Like, they got married on the baseball field, and then I played a show in the Diamond Club.
That's
wow.
awesome.
It was insane. But I couldn't make the show, and so after I was texting Lentils, and I was like, being sorry. I seriously called this man
No,
Lentils.
keep calling Lentils.
Yeah.
I text Lentils because, they had the after party at the Flat. And everybody knows I love the Flat. And everybody knows I love Lentils. So I was like, okay, let me, I'm going to I'm definitely coming to the after party. We show up to the after party. The line is like down the street and wrapped around the corner.
Really?
I've never seen a line at the Flat.
At the Flat?
I text them. I
They just
said,
had the show. Like, they said,
They-
we're going to the Flat.
they famous.
Yeah, they famous, and the Flat
Yeah.
holds 30 people. So
And I told him,
yeah.
I told Lentils, I'm like, oh, you famous. He was like, not really.
No,
I don't think
so
he
cool.
understands.
He be chilling.
Both of them don't act like they're like that famous.
Exactly.
I'm like,
but they are.
You're famous.
They're famous.
Yeah.
like super.
Yeah,
famous.
and you-
like, I'm mad I missed the show. I still want a shirt that like they need to make shirts and y'all ain't got like 3Xs, 2Xs. Never mind, that's my own personal thing. But yeah,
You'll get that shirt.
Oh,
We'll have some
definitely,
merch for you and your
definitely.
size.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what's up.
yes,
Oh, ranch.
Yes, please explain.
yeah.
Okay. So I did one of the podcasts where I told y'all it was at my homie house. It was nothing like this.
Yeah, I saw. You was sitting on the floor or on
Let
a
me
couch.
tell you I was sitting on the couch, but let me
Uh-huh.
tell you the wild thing about that podcast. They made an Incredible Hulk for me before the show started.
Oh, because you was loosey goosey.
Oh, yeah.
You was out there.
And then on that show, they passed God's
things.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
God's green
I'm gonna bring
grape.
it up.
Marijuana, it's
I didn't
what it's
want you.
called.
I didn't want to get you in trouble with your mom. I don't
Yeah.
know if she would or not. So yeah, that's why we left it alone. But go ahead.
Sorry, Mom. But we were passing it around, and so everybody was just chilling. So, of course, at that point, your mind is just like, it's just open, just so many possibilities. And I was talking, and I'm just, we're talking about relax, and I was like, you know what? I love blue cheese. I do love blue cheese. And I know a lot of people don't like blue cheese. And I do like ranch as well on certain things. But ranch for me, like, it's a safe thing. It's like, it's generally accepted from everyone. Blue cheese, I can understand it's an acquired taste. I like it. But I can understand when I taste it why people don't. Still love it. But I was saying that I feel like a lot of my music is like blue cheese. And that I really, really like it. And I feel like the people that really like it will really like it. But it's an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard relax, I was like, this shit is ranch. This is ranch.
She found
This
her
is what you
ranch.
put-
I
on the
found my
wing.
ranch
Okay.
because I
Okay.
knew, I was like, everybody's going to get with this song. My mom likes that song. My mom, like, pretty much only listens to gospel music. She loves gospel music.
Sounds like it.
But she's like, put that ranch.
Yeah.
Sounds like my mom.
But
too.
she
Yeah.
likes it. And
Yeah.
the song, what's funny? Like, people made it a smoking song. And I knew when we made it that it kind of gave me that vibe. But I was like, we really aren't talking about smoking in it. And there's it's a clean song. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
radio
There's
ready.
nothing
There's no
that-
cussing in it
Yeah.
or anything.
Miraculous.
I know. And so I was just like,
Miraculous.
Y'all, did we really create a bop that all ages like
Yeah.
can vibe to? Like, that's
You
what
got
I
your
love
ranch,
about I
your
got
hidden
my
valley.
ranch.
Did you make
High
ranch?
five.
You know what I'm
Yes.
Like, did you make ranch? You like, we made some ranch.
We made some ranch,
They
y'all.
made some ranch. Bringing it all back, man. Making ranch. Doing everything positive. That's a positive thing.
You
not
know?
cursing
Not cursing.
Exactly.
And making moms happy.
and staying awake while we're
making
driving.
moms
We learned a
happy.
lot of things. We stay awake while we drive. We
Yes.
don't curse.
Yeah.
We
We always make the Essence Fest.
still go
Oh,
to
yes.
Essence. You go to
Yeah.
Essence
No matter
regardless.
what.
Regardless.
Regardless,
you
you
put
go.
that brace on.
You go to Essence.
And we are a part
Yes.
of the Rhythm Nation.
You go up yonder, down I-10,
and you growl.
and you
And
growl.
you growl. You growl.
Now, simply.
All right, I'm juiced up.
Yeah,
Come on.
juiced up. Where can we find you?
You can find me in Hiram Clark. No, I'm just like Third
No, I'm
Ward.
talking about-
No, I'm talking about. All of my social media is Sincerely Lenora.
Sincerely Lenora on
Yep,
everything.
On everything.
That's what's up. Sincerely Lenora on IG, Twitter, all of that. Well, once
Facebook.
again, Facebook. Forget about Facebook, the Book of Faces, because it's for old people.
I always forget
Oh,
about
I
my
know.
God.
It is for old people. Once again, this is an In My Humble Opinion podcast. And I'm Avery, like a very nice guy, also known as Carlton Bake, Charlton with a K, B-A-N, triple X. Dang, yes, you did
spell
it.
your name for a second?
Yeah, I forget how to spell my name a lot of times. We're also here with Devon, just Devon, the co-host. Say your name.
Just Devon. There we
All
go.
right, just
Yeah,
Devon.
yeah.
And that's what it is. It's, in my humble opinion, where the opinions are humbled and the words aren't jumbled. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Did you?
Bang.
What the? Bang, 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 bang.
He is
Give me my
making
bang.
history today.
Give me my bang.